Hello, my name is Matthew Gill, and a couple of years ago I did um, a video about my living with an invisible disability, and it was about my Meniere's disease, and it was posted online and shared around. And I've had a few people ask me recently if I would do an update to that video, to give some general news on how it's been since I posted that video 2 years ago, and how things might have changed, or have they changed. So the reason I'm making this video today, firstly, is as an update to the video I made 2 years ago about living with Meniere's, and also to give you an update as to how I'm doing now, and some of the challenges I still face today. First thing I want to say is that anybody living with a hidden disability, it's always a challenge, because people don't see you in a wheelchair or with crutches, or generally disabled. They tend to look at you and think, well, he's a normal guy, he doesn't seem to be ill. And this is a problem with a hidden disability. Not everybody sees it. However, as those who live with hidden disabilities know, it's very challenging. For me, my hidden disability, being Meniere's, is very challenging to live with, and still is, even 2 years later. My condition hasn't improved from 2 years ago with regards to the Meniere's disease. However, I consider my mental health to be a lot better than it used to be. When I made that video 2 years ago, I was struggling with my mental health, and had done for some time. But I think my mental health is in a better place than it has been and used to be. However, my daily struggle with Meniere's is still very real, and still impacts my life in a very serious way. Just a little bit of background to Meniere's disease. Is a vestibular disorder on the inner ear, which causes dizziness, spinning, vertigo very, very badly, and causes ringing in the ears, fullness of the ears, and in some cases migraines can be a major issue. And obviously, because it's a difficult disease to treat for some people, there are massive differences on the spectrum of Meniere's disease. Some people have it and only have maybe one, we call them attack, maybe a year, or two attacks a year, and some of them have them, like I do, on a more regular basis. I would say that I have maybe 2 or 3 attacks a day. And those attacks can last anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes, and it's very difficult when you're living with Meniere's to plan anything ahead, because you don't know how you're going to be before you get up in the morning. Sometimes an attack can be so bad that you cannot get up in the morning for several hours. You're spinning at this exaggerated, aggressive state where you can't comprehend anything. Your ears are so full, it feels like your ears could explode. And then, of course, the ringing ratchets up to an almost unbearable tone. And then, of course, with that comes sickness. Now, there are medications you can take, and I am on a raft of medications for my Meniere's. But still, I live with the disease from day to day, week to week, and don't really plan too far ahead, even now, 2 years later. Which is why when I tend to have a good day, and they do happen, I don't tend to get stretches of good days, maybe one or two, and then it's back into that, fighting to survive type mentality. And if you have 2 good days, you've had a winner. Which is why when I have those good days, I tend to try and do so much in such a short space of time. I try and spend more time with the family. I try and spend more time with my kids. I try and go out as much as I can, even if it's just to the shops. And then I try, if it's possible, to indulge my hobbies. And I think it's very important for people who live with a chronic illness or a hidden disability, whatever you want to call it, to have interests and hobbies, because your illness or your disability can become all-consuming in your life. And my hobbies happen to be my church work, and occasionally, if I'm having a really good day in the summer, maybe I won't be able to play a game of tennis. But I know once I've played that game of tennis, the physical exertion will of course play into the severity of a Meniere's attack. And you do tend to get anxiety an awful lot about going out, because you never know, even if you're having a good day, you never know, at any minute it could end. And that's how bad it is. Any minute it could end. You could be walking with your family and all of a sudden, boom, your dizziness will be, the spinning will become the dizziness. I hate when people call it dizziness, because I've just been a bit dizzy. It's like a spinning vertigo attack. And you just hit the floor at like 100 miles an hour. And you tend to get a lot of injuries. I tend to suffer from cuts and bruises and carpet burns from falling, hitting the floor, and the friction hitting the floor, and you slide, of course. That's horrible. And so I would say 2 years on from my last video, my mental health is better, but I'm still living with this awful illness, this disease. It's called Meniere's disease. And at the moment I'm deaf in my right ear. Now, I have had a cold, which of course exacerbated my Meniere's symptoms. I became more dizzy and couldn't move, and the world was spinning and ringing in my ears. I have ringing in my ears all the time anyway, both sides. And it's right there, you can hear it. That's all the time, but when you go through an attack, it ratchets, really loud. And the fullness in the ear just gets to an explosive point. It's very hard to explain. But I've had this cold and I've lost the hearing in my right ear. And that worries me greatly. Because, of course, one of the symptoms of Meniere's is burnout. And eventually burnout means that you might lose the hearing in your ears, which is always a major worry for me, because I don't have the greatest of ears in the first place. And so I live with it daily. still. And people don't see that, you know, the things you miss out on because of this disease. You tend to miss a lot of your kids' stuff, parents' evenings, sports days, parties. Family gatherings are always a big deal for me. I don't know how long it's going to be during that family gathering, if I'm going to have an attack or not. If I'm going to be able to attend in the first place because of the Meniere's disease. So when a good day comes along, you grab it with both hands and you're right, today I'm not feeling dizzy. Today my ears aren't ringing as loud. So what can I get done today? But unfortunately, those days, for me anyway, they might be different for you, don't last more than maybe 1 or 2 days. It's back to square one. You wait again. You might have to wait 2, 3, 4 weeks for another good day. It always amuses me when I go for my PIP assessment, because I receive PIP, which I know is very difficult to get for Meniere's disease. There are many people who are refused PIP that have Meniere's disease, which I think is an absolute disgrace. It is a disability, and it is something that can be very, very difficult to live with, and people should be getting recognition for that. They should be getting the help they need. Thankfully, we live in a welfare state, but still, even in our welfare state, it's very difficult to get recognition for certain disabilities. Thankfully, I have been recognised and I received PIP, and it always amazes me when I have my PIP award. Or have you tried what's it like looking for work? And you would have to say, well, it's very difficult because I don't know many places that would allow me to have 3 weeks off and then come in when I have a good day, and then I have 2 good days or 1 good day, and then the next day I can't come into work again. You can't live like that. You can't. My son works at the local Tesco here, and sometimes I joke and say, oh, I'd love a job at Tesco. And he says, no, Dad, you just wouldn't be able to do it. First, they wouldn't allow you to have all the time off that you would need. And what if you had an attack in the store? You'd bring down half the shelving. And so, I don't work. I used to own a business. I was a very successful business owner. And this disease hit me, and it hit me very hard, and it's continued to hit me hard. And although I take medication to mitigate some of the side effects of the Meniere's, it's still very hard to live with, very hard on my family, my children. Thankfully, I have a very good support network of an amazing wife who is my full-time carer. She looks after me and helps me and cleans up after me when I've had a bad time. Sometimes helps dress me and when I can't stand up straight, put my trousers on. Sometimes, has to sit in the bathroom while I'm having a shower in case I fall over or fall off the toilet or something. So those are still things I'm living with 2 years on, and I don't think that's got any better. My condition hasn't got any better from where it was 2 years ago, but my mental health is better. Talk a lot more about the disease and how it's affected me, and that's good. My advice for people living with this disease is just take every day as it comes, don't get too despondent. You do have good days. You can have a spread of good days. It's different for everybody. For me, I normally get about maybe 2, if I'm lucky, 3, if I'm very lucky, 2, 3. But don't get despondent. Get a good network of people around you who can support you, who can help you. I know that's not the case for everybody, but there are lots of people to talk to. There are lots of forums on Facebook you can get in touch with. Meniere's forums for the UK, that I also talk to every now and again. Some of the people on there ask me to do this video, so that's why I'm doing it. But yeah, it's a nasty disease to live with, and I don't think it helps when you don't get the recognition from the government for help for this disease. Now, as I've said, Meniere's is different for lots of different people, and it's a massive spectrum. It's like autism; you can be, really, really bad, or you can be, mild with it. But I think for those people like me who have it very badly, and who suffer on a day-to-day basis, and they can't live normal, everyday lives, they need help, and they need support, and they need the funding to live. Because I couldn't hold down a full-time job, even a part-time job. It would just be, it seemed impractical. I don't get enough good days for that to happen. I don't get a stretch of those days. And even if I did get a stretch of days, maybe 2 weeks, which would be an absolute bliss. Let's say you got a stretch of 2 weeks. At some point that fall's going to happen. And if it happens and you need time off, there aren't many employers out there that are going to be happy with you having 3 weeks off work, a month off work. They're just not going to do that. They're there to make money, and if you can't do the job, someone else will do it. So I do think the government needs to look more closely at funding PIP for people with Meniere's disease, despite how bad it is or how mild it is for them. They do need that support and that recognition. Thankfully, I have that. Don't know what I would do without it. Don't know what my family would do without it. It'd be very difficult. And of course, living with this disease on its own is a difficult thing to do. But to have that worry removed is great, and I'm thankful for that. So I think that pretty much sums up my update for 2 years. I'm still living with Meniere's. It's still very difficult. I'm having an okay day today. I'm alright. I've had a dizzy spell this morning. I'm not feeling brilliant. But I wanted to do this video because people have asked to do it. And hopefully it helps you in some way. You're not alone, is what I'm trying to say. You're not alone. You can feel very lonely. You're not alone. There are people who want to help you, people who want to support you, people who want to listen. And just have to come to terms with the fact that you're going to have bad days. And you might have a run of bad days. And it could be a month, a week, could be 6 months, could be a year, who knows. You have to live with that every day. And it's very difficult for people who don't live with a hidden disease or disability to understand what you're going through. And not everybody does. Not everybody wants to understand. Not everybody cares anyway. And just take advantage of the good days when they come along, or try to the best that you can. And support everybody else who's going through what you're going through by posting on Meniere's forums and Facebook pages. So I hope that this has been helpful to you, and I hope that you're managing to live with this disease in the best way that you can, as I am. And thank you for your time, and just keep plugging on, keep going. There is a brighter day somewhere, and it will come, I promise. but you're not alone. So anyway, thank you, and it's been a pleasure to do this update.